A panda brought all the way from China delivered one of the most precious gifts to Pairi Daiza Wildlife Park in Belgium, a newborn cub. Cameras captured the birth on film, as well as the keeper's tears when they saw the tiny pink cub writhing and crying. The plight of the panda has been on the radar of conservationists and animal lovers for more than half a century. The species was at risk of extinction. In 2016, the same year Belgian zoo had its cub, there were only 1,864 giant pandas in the world. They'd lost much of their natural habitat to human impingement. Of those 1,864 bears, 300 lived in zoos. But that type of protection didn't automatically help the species to grow and repopulate, since pandas have always been hesitant to reproduce while in captivity. Fortunately, advancements in artificial breeding methodology, as well as greater familiarity with the needs of the species, help zoologists to slightly lift the number of births for pandas in zoos, and that was exactly what happened at Pairi Daiza in 2016. The Belgian zoo had previously welcomed 2 pandas on loan from China in 2014, Hao Hao, a 6-year-old female, and her mate Jinghu. Pairi Daiza enlisted the help of experts from the local area and from China to artificially inseminate Hao Hao a couple of years after she arrived. Afterward, Hao Hao began exhibiting signs that she was indeed pregnant. According to a statement from Pairi Daiza's Tanya Strubent, the panda was eating double her daily portion of bamboo. Then her interest in food fell dramatically and she refused to leave her cave. The results of scientific tests confirms our observations, Strubant's statements continued, although not without a dose of reality. We should at this stage remain cautious. It's still possible that Hao Hao is experiencing a phantom pregnancy or that she loses the fetus, Strubant said. But on June 6, 2016, Hao Hao proved that her pregnancy was indeed a real one. In the early hours of the morning, she gave birth to a cub, which arrived tiny, pink, hairless, and blind. As soon as she delivered her baby, Hao Hao did something that appeared out of the ordinary. She used her teeth to pick up the cub, which had been wriggling on the floor, and held it in her mouth. The panda zookeepers cried as they watched. The baby panda let out cries of its own too, but none of the tears in the room were sad ones. Pairi Daiza's staff wept because they couldn't believe their hard work had paid off. And the baby squeals were just a sign of life in the young cub, whose mom cleaned and protected it by holding it in her mouth. Shortly after the birth, Pairi Daiza's director, Eric Dam, told the world the good news at a press conference. "It's a boy," he announced. On top of that, everything went exceptionally well, he said. Pairi Daiza's zoological director, Tim Bouts, described the 6-ounce baby as a little pink sausage, according to the BBC. All panda cubs are born temporarily hairless and blind though, which means they need constant attention from their mothers to survive. Fortunately, the newborn panda had the zoo staff to look after it too. It would need as much help as it could get, since many cubs struggle to survive even in captivity. "We're still in a risky period," Bouts told the Daily Mail after the baby's successful delivery. So the zoo staff waited to name the baby and watched as he slowly grew up. They released a video when he celebrated his 1-month birthday. In it, the once hairless cub had wispy black and white fur growing, and he weighed just under 2.5 pounds. By August of 2016, Baby P, as he was called until he received his official name, weighed in at 11 pounds. At that time, the nearly 3-month-old attempted to take his first steps, and cameras caught his adorably wobbly crawl. On September 15th, the zookeepers were finally ready to give Baby P an official name. They enlisted the help of the public, creating an online survey with 5 potential names, including Jinghao, which means good star in Chinese, Aojing, Star of Europe, Hao Li, China and Belgium, and Antown, United Peace. But the public put 40% of their votes behind Tianbao, which means treasure of heaven, and the zookeepers agreed. The Chinese ambassadors to Belgium and the Belgium Environment Minister both attended the panda's naming ceremony. When he reached his first birthday in June of 2017, Tianbao received a very special gift, a new swing set. The young bear would undoubtedly love his new toy, as would the many visitors who flocked to Pairi Daiza to see the baby panda. Eventually though, life will see Tianbao back in China, as part of his parents' loan agreement, which will keep them in Belgium until 2029, he can only stay there until he's 4 years old. After that, he'll return to the panda's native land to join its breeding program or reintegrate into the wild. Efforts such as the one made at Pairi Daiza have certainly had a great impact on the giant pandas population and prospects too. In September of 2016, the species dropped from endangered to vulnerable as the population swelled to more than 2,000 bears. Check out these other videos from Let Me Know. If you haven't made the move to subscribe to our channel, all you need to do is click on that red subscribe button. Thank you for watching.